postseason award, their awards, and the Golden State Warriors are falling apart at the seams. Look, I make no bones about this. Golden State, last year I picked San Antonio to beat Golden State in the playoffs. And I'm not a big ifs, woulds, coulds, because as I've heard this before, those of you listen to me on ESPN Radio, I've always used this phrase: ifs, woods, and coulds are bricks on the road to failure. You can't use that. But with all of that said, Kawhi Leonard was taken out for a reason. Zaza Pachulia knew what he was doing. And you can argue that and say, oh, I don't know, it's a 10 or whatever that case may be. There's a reason why now that is a foul in the NBA. And I believe the Spurs played the Warriors 3 times last year and were up by 20 in each one of those games. Now, so I felt last year was the end of the Golden State dynasty. This year, Kevin Durant is injured. Steph Curry's having problems with his legs, which is to be expected. I mean, they played, but they've gone to 3 straight NBA finals. I believe they've gone to 3 straight NBA finals. They've gone deep in the postseason, at least past the second round for, I want to say forever what it feels like, but it's been at least 5 or 6 years. So jump shooters tend to wear down after a while. You also got the backstory of Klay Thompson giving you the dreaded vote of confidence, like when an owner pats a coach on the back and says, we're going to stick with you, coach. He's our coach. And then an hour later, you see the boxes coming out. The coach has been fired. Klay Thompson says, I want to be here. I want to stay in Golden State. Yeah, what else is he going to say? But Steph Curry being injured to me opens the door for so many other things to go down in the NBA. And one of the big stories, one of the stories that I don't think is getting enough is the resurgence of the Portland Trailblazers. But the story that I love and the one that I've been tick waiting on is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City has lost something like 11 or 12 games by 5 points or less. So they've lost close games. Right? They go half of those games. They're right there with the Houston Rockets. They're right there record-wise with the Houston Rockets. But they didn't. Right? They didn't. So you are what your record says you are. And Oklahoma City has a lot of problems. But damn it if they don't pull it together when they see Golden State. And you can point to that last game, that last blowout where they said Golden State righted the ship and they were letting Oklahoma City know, it's not going to happen. Nah, I go with what I see, man. I don't need analytics. I don't need numbers to say when Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George line up against Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, them dudes are going to ball. Them dudes are going to make it happen. Now, with that said, Oklahoma City could lose. I'm looking at the record right now. They could lose to Portland. They would get smoked by Houston more than likely. But the one team is like the one dude I know I can beat is him. I know they can beat Golden State. And as I'm watching Portland go up the ladder, Golden State also knows they don't want to see Oklahoma City. During the seasons, when teams are in championship runs, they'll say, we don't care who we play, and if you covered sports, if you've been around sports anywhere, even as a fan, you know the one team that gives you fits. You're the Giants, you don't want to see the Eagles at any point in time, especially with things on the line. Am I right, Ryan? You know the Eagles are going to play you tough, and you know it's going to be one of those games where it's going to take something for you to pull out your unmentionable area to pull that game out. You know that. Yes, he almost doesn't matter. Man, didn't y'all win 4 games? Didn't the Giants win 4 games? How many games did you win? Okay, enough said. So, I tried to give you a game. You should have took it. The point I'm trying to make, I take you there to bring you here. The point is simple. Every team has a thorn, has a team that can for some reason beat them. You go way back. The Dallas Mavericks, number 1 seed in the NBA playoffs. Who did they lose to? The Golden State Warriors in the first round. The Golden State Warriors in the first. There are always, and that was the year Dirk Nowitzki won an MVP. That was the year Dirk Nowitzki was one of the best players in the NBA. And they got bounced in the first round. Matchups matter. Players matter. And there is a level of intensity that Russell Westbrook will play at that cannot be duplicated against any other team that he will make sure he has when they play Golden State. and you look at what Golden State's got to go through to get there. Golden State right now could possibly play San Antonio or Minnesota. Now, Minnesota would be a walk in the park. I don't think there's any more overrated team in the NBA. And we're going to talk about Minnesota because they play Philly tonight. And Minnesota got 2 of Philly's #1 picks, and Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. You know, Wiggins obviously via trade, Karl Anthony Towns via draft. That was the dreaded Jahlil Okafor draft. But, Minnesota's a team that I think gets way too much credit. Wiggins is a player that people keep waiting on, keep giving excuses for, which as a fan drives me crazy. Bucks stew out of me when you hear guys say, this guy, they give guys excuses who are #1 picks. They say this guy is a good player. You got to give him a chance. We were talking about in the production meeting, we were talking about Markelle Fultz. And I said the Sixers at this point can't play him. And I really wish they would have, but at this point the Sixers can't because there's nothing he can do that can live up to being the #1 pick in this draft. Donovan Mitchell right now has got everybody saying, what were they thinking? Jason Tatum has everybody thinking right now, what were they thinking? Why would you trade when you could have had that for this? And I was one of the people that said early in the year, get him out on the floor, just let him get a sweat, let him get part of the team. You can't do that now. A, he's not in shape. But B, you put him out there now, a guy where the questions were before he came in, because we knew Markelle would score. We didn't know if he would be, if he could do other things. Now you're really questioning him. But going back to that point, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George versus a injured Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry's, it was an MCL sprain. That's going to take a while to heal. He's got ankle issues. Klay Thompson, I believe, will be there. Klay's a rock. I'm not really concerned about rock. Draymond will be there. Draymond will be there. But you'll start seeing the effect. Kevin Durant obviously is dealing with some injuries. But you'll start seeing the effects of the other guys, including Kevin Durant, of playing so much basketball. And Oklahoma City is right there, right for the taking. And look, Golden State's 2. Houston's going to run away with this, and we're going to talk James Harden versus LeBron because I've got some interesting numbers. If I told you James Harden, who was known for scoring this great offensive threat, and supposed to be everyone's favorite for MVP, was scoring one more point than LeBron James in the month of March. Yeah, exactly. That's the face you would make. LeBron James is averaging 28 points. James Harden's averaging 29 in the month of March. James Harden, 7 assists. 5 rebounds. LeBron, 10 rebounds. Or 9.8 rebounds. I don't want to say 9.8 assists. No consideration for MVP. Playing with his 17th different lineup. Kevin Love coming back. Ty Lue's sick. So I'm going to say that for the close of the show. Golden State is in trouble. I want you all to write it down, take a picture. I said it first. Or I said it on my show, The NBA Files. I said it last year. Kawhi got hurt. You throw injuries out the window. Golden State won. They won the title and discussion. This year's a different story. Oklahoma City beats Golden State. Now, if Oklahoma City plays anybody else, they lose. Like, they play Portland, they'll probably lose. Minnesota, good chance they lose. Even though I loathe Minnesota, they probably lose. But they will be ready for the Golden State Warriors. So I'll push against the break. When we come back, it's the debate that I want to have. As a card-carrying member of the LeBron James fan club, and as a guy that was one of the few people that thought James Harden would be a good player when he came out of Arizona State, I'm going to pit the two against them because I think LeBron is actually your MVP this year. Think about that with the season James Harden's having. Kwame Jones Show, WWDBAM, Talking Six.